Welcome to the NTSC 5 and 5 series, where I, Ashwin, Krishnan, host amazing CISOs on Standout on NYSE. Today my guest is Ryan Hebert. He is the BISO at NYSE and FIDS at ICE. The questions I ask him: his path to becoming a CISO, dealing with competing priorities in his organization, and a single piece of advice to an aspiring CISO, plus two personal questions. Watch on. So Ryan, what led you to cyber and the role of a CISO?
Thanks, Ashwin. First, it's great to be a part of this. Happy to be a part of this process. So thanks for having me. So I started breaking apart computers when I was in about 8th grade. I always had a flavor for it. I went to Louisiana State University. Back then, there wasn't a really big program around computer science or information security. So I just kind of drove through information systems processing, and is always my passion. So I started out as an IT consultant, got a job here at Intercontinental Exchange in the internal audit program, transferred into InfoSec, and it's just been a part of me ever since. Kind of worked up the ranks over the last 15 years, and I went from analyst all the way up to information security officer. So just kind of gradually made my course.
How do you deal with competing priorities in your organization?
It's great. We actually just recently got a PMO group within cybersecurity, but for the longest time, it was really just us doing our own blocking and tackling. It's really just looking at the threats and objectives that are out there, what your plan is for the year, and prioritizing based upon what the bad actors are doing, right? So we look at our threat objectives as a business through different avenues such as asset theft or sabotage, and that's what really drives what we focus on in the cybersecurity group. So that could be focusing on red teaming around where our cash lives in the clearinghouses, or doing penetration testing around social engineering. So basically, whatever the bad actors are doing, we're going to try and do that to ourselves to prioritize being able to defend against it.
So Ryan, what's a single piece of advice you'd give to an aspiring CISO?
It's really important to understand the role of a CISO has changed drastically over the last decade or so. So it used to be who's the IT guy that's been around the longest, or who's the IT person who has experience in terms of software engineering, where the prioritization is of your customers, and exactly what it is that needs to transpire from cyber over to the business. You don't want to be a blockade, but you also want to work with them in partnership to ensure that the controls that you're putting in effectively work, but they also don't impede the business. So it's no longer this IT representative. You have to have business development understanding. You have to know what your customers need, and you really have to be able to speak the language of the board to be a really fulsome CISO.
Ryan, one of the things that's constantly talked about is the lack of diversity in our industry, right? What tips and tricks do you have to make sure that we can walk the talk?
Man, I'm really proud of ICE and NYSE for how we approach cybersecurity talent acquisition. So we've got a couple of other avenues that we search through. There's some 501c3s in the Atlanta area and some other non-traditional university-based programs that are teaching cybersecurity. They've got 9-month boot camps and a couple other things in the Atlanta area that we've really been successful in. I think we've hired 15 people from something called City of Refuge. It's a cybersecurity tech program. So whenever you go and seek out these non-traditional, non-cybersecurity programs, you find the diversity organically occurs. When I walk through the SOC over here, I see nothing but older, younger, all different diversity backgrounds. And what's great about that is whenever you organically have it, you have all these different perspectives. And that's what really drives conflict, but good conflict. So whenever you're trying to resolve an issue and you have all these different perspectives coming in, you organically come to a really good foundational decision because you've looked at all the different avenues from all these different perspectives. So organic diversity is just great about NYSE because we have it fulsome in every day that we're looking for new talent.
So moving to the personal side, what advice would you give to a younger Ryan, let's say from 15 years ago?
First off, save your money. Nah, I kid. But really, it's just similar to what I just said. Take every opportunity you have. I got put on a bunch of things for the SEC and the CFTC, which are pretty heavy regulators in our space. And now I'm one of the main contacts for that for the Intercontinental Exchange. So just making sure that when an opportunity arises to grasp it and really learn from that. And I'd say don't make the same mistakes twice. It's completely okay to get an analyst or an engineer that's pretty fresh to make a problem or an issue arise. You just don't want to see that thing over and over again. You really want to learn from those mistakes and put them into your arsenal.
Last question, what makes your heart dance and your eyes light up?
Oh, that's the easiest question of the day. My beautiful wife, Tara, my wonderful children, MC and Francis. Getting time outside, getting some vitamin D and running around with them and doing anything we can to get away from a computer, just to kind of break away and get that good balance of work and life.
Awesome. Thanks for your time.
Hey, thank you so much. It's been great.